February the 4th, 2021. Guys, we're about to go through some of the coldest weather of the year in the next week, week and a half. And so I want to go through that because we haven't seen this type of weather this year so far. And it's you guys up north getting hammered by snowstorms in the northeast, and you got about 2 more coming in the next week. What I'm looking at, let me back this up. This is Friday, February the 12th. 2 days before Valentine's Day. And the high that day here in central Mississippi, now this is just for a reference, 45. That's not that bad, 42 for real feel. But that night, the winds are going to pick up. We've got an Arctic Vortex blast coming for all of my friends here. 24 is going to be the low that night, but the real feel is going to be 14 degrees. So pets and pipes, things like that, water pipes, are going to be endangered. Not only that, you've got, it's a week from tomorrow, so you've got a week to prepare for a little extra heating fuel, whether it's firewood, or make sure you got plenty of gas or something to back up your heat, because at 14 degrees real feel, you can blow transformers real quick on these power lines. We've seen it many times. Now, one thing about it, the precipitation probability here is only 18%, okay? So maybe we won't have any freezing rain or anything like that. Really, 0 inches is what it's saying. Now, that could change somewhat because we're a week out. But they're talking about this is going to be the coldest week coming up for the entire nation. And what they're saying is a blast of Arctic air will sweep through the central states in the coming days. The frigid weather will usher in the lowest temperatures of the season so far, and it will turn cold enough to pose dangers to Americans spending time outdoors. Now, for some areas, it may be the coldest weekend of the winter, because if you look forward on the maps here in the southeast, guys, that's going to drop down, like I said, 14 for a chill factor next Friday night. But the next few days and going into a few weeks, it seems to be a warming trend. But we need to get through that part. It says mild weather ahead of the bitter cold may add a bit of shock value. Temperatures trended upward over parts of the Rockies and Plains on Tuesday, and milder air will push eastward through midweek. However, the AccuWeather meteorologists warn that Arctic air is on the move across central Canada. This is that Arctic Vortex. When we got weak chills during grand solar minimum, it doesn't hold together. There are extra heats coming in through the above the North Pole, and it causes a breakup of the vortex. It's not holding tight. Now, they're saying yesterday in Des Moines, Iowa, it's 40 degrees. The mercury may top out only 6 degrees Fahrenheit on Sunday. That's the high. The press of Arctic air will coincide with a large southward lunge of the jet stream associated with the break-off lobe of the polar vortex. That's what I'm talking about. And should give the frigid weather a free ride into much of the central states starting late this week. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Brett Anderson explained, adding reinforcing waves of cold air will arrive through the first part of next week. And so what I'm talking about here is a build-up starting Sunday. With that low in Des Moines at 6, the high in Des Moines 6 degrees. Then you got a couple more systems pulling in, and then it's gonna just stabilize for this next weekend's blast. And this is a map. This is Saturday through Monday next week. You pull in the center. You got a polar vortex shifting southward, and it's going to come, and you see where it's going to curve back towards the Great Lakes here. But the thing about that is it's going to let that cold, dry air penetrate further south, and you can see it here. And you're going to have wind picking up again. 20-something mile an hour gusts next weekend, putting that wind chill factor extremely low. So again, you've got 1 week from tomorrow to prepare any water lines, extra water, extra food in case you have some power outages. Just think about that and don't be caught off guard. And here's the warning, and I've talked about this for the last few years. You can, in your peaks of grand solar minimum winters, it can get rough. And they're saying even winter hardy, long-time residents of the northern plains and Midwest may mind the upcoming weather, as temperatures much of the winter have been well above average. Since December 1st, temperatures have averaged 3 to 6 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. AccuWeather forecasters are calling for temperatures to dip a dozen or more degrees below average for several days. The extreme temperature departures will be notable since early Friday is just past when average temperatures are at the lowest points of the season in many places. So this is the natural low point. It's just going to be a little colder than usual. In Chicago, the lowest temperature recorded so far this season was 8 degrees Fahrenheit, which occurred on Christmas morning and again on January the 28th. Temperatures are forecast to dip well below zero several nights in the upcoming cold pattern. Again, if it's going to be down into the teens here, central Mississippi, just think, guys, it's going to be much colder as we travel further north. Today, across the central U.S., you've got blizzard warnings. There's avalanche warnings out in the west. So it's not like we've got a break until this time. It's just going to be piling up, and then we're going to hit that cold peak. Now, again, it's not bad here yet, but just look at Saturday's weather coming up in 2 days. You're at 20 to 30 below normal from Grand Forks down to Omaha, and then further south, you're 10 to 20 degrees below normal. So think about this. Your normal is very cold in this week of February coming up, but this is 10 to 30 degrees below that. Low, not the average this year, but normal temperatures. And people are going to get in trouble. If you're thinking about traveling, try to put it off. Let some of this get past you. It says even though in some places the temps may not break official low temperature records, temperature departures of 30 and even 40 degrees Fahrenheit below average are quite possible with the Arctic blast, and that in itself can be quite painful for the dead of winter. For example, the average temperature for early February is 20 degrees in Fargo, North Dakota, and the average low temperature is 1 degree Fahrenheit in Chicago. The normal high is 30 and the average low is 19 this time of the year. On Sunday, temperatures may plunge to around 10 degrees below zero for a high with a low temperature at night possibly 20 below zero in Fargo. The low temperatures records in Fargo this month range from 26 below zero on February 21st to 47 below zero on February the 9th, which was set in 1888 and still stands as the all-time records. Now, if you go into Sunday, they're saying you got a hypothermia risk, frozen pipes, car battery issues, increased heating demands. And now it's changed in this blue area. It comes out of Canada, down through Grand Forks, south of Minneapolis, all the way almost to Chicago. You're looking at 30 to 40 below normal, 20 to 30 in the lighter blue, and 10 to 20 all the way as far south as northern Texas, all of Oklahoma, most of Arkansas, northern Mississippi, and Tennessee. You can see where this range, and this is the actual dip in the vortex itself. So, like it said, no matter how hardy you are, if the further north you go, this is going to be challenging. It goes on to say Sunday will likely be the harshest day during the upcoming stretch in Chicago. Both the daily record low and lowest high temperature may be in jeopardy for that area. Then, guys, just 5 days later, we got the blast that's going to put us at some of the coldest, if not the coldest, of the entire year as far as temperatures. The high on Sunday is predicted to be in single digits. It's in Chicago again, around 5 degrees. That's the high. However, if the mercury fails to reach zero, that would constitute quite a feat. Forecasters say sub-zero high temperatures are not unprecedented in early February, though they are rare. The temperature reached only 0 degrees on February the 7th back in 1893. The record low on Sunday of 10 below zero was set in 1875, so they're looking at some very cold temperatures coming your way. And again, think about the entire radius of your life, from your kids, grandkids, pets, livestock, water, food, and heating materials. Get prepared for this. And in Minneapolis, the nighttime temps are forecast to dip below zero for 7 consecutive nights from Friday tomorrow through Thursday night of next week. Then that air is coming in the next day, here, and we're going to get those teens that night. The coldest night is forecast to be Sunday night in the Twin Cities. Temps are expected to bottom out around 17 below zero. The record low for Sunday night is 29 degrees below zero, which has stood since the late 1800s, and isn't likely to be broken amid the frigid weather this month. Prior to the upcoming Arctic outbreak, the coldest it has been in the Twin Cities this winter was 5 below zero on Christmas morning. So, guys, you're looking at, even though it may not break records, they're going back into the 1800s, okay? Now, this first blast comes starting tomorrow through Saturday, and it will create dangerous temperatures. Winds will generally gust to 20 to 40 miles per hour across the northern plains, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley. The strongest winds with gusts between 40 miles an hour and 60 miles an hour around the Great Lakes will occur on the backside of a storm that is expected to drop snow and a wintry mix and rain from Thursday to Friday over the Midwest and the Northeast. Blustery conditions will linger on Friday and Saturday from portions of the northern plains to the Great Lakes regions of the storm in the storm's wake. Even as winds ease up a bit on Sunday, the breeze will be brutal. Says the real field temperatures can dip to 15 degrees to 30 degrees lower than the actual temp at the times. Hypothermia and frostbite are threats in this type of air mass, especially with strong winds blowing or when people are trying to walk or jog at a brisk pace in light winds. Not a good time for either of those activities. People will need to put on an extra layer of clothes if they plan on walking out the door to brave the elements. Now let's look at today's map. This is National Weather Service. You've got blizzard warnings, which are in this bright orange area here in central Iowa. You have winter storm warnings, and you have winter weather advisories throughout the entire area. Now notice here in western Colorado, eastern Utah, in this area, but in Colorado you have avalanche warnings. And think about that if you're outdoors or if you're traveling on mountainous roads, but you do have that problem. You've got high wind warnings across Oklahoma, through Kansas, got Louisiana, Texas, into Arkansas, and all of these winds, and the wind warnings are always usually in a tan or light tan or brown, something like that. But at least California, you're getting a break from some of the precipitation today, but this cold air is causing these winter weather advisories, avalanche warnings, winter storm watches, blizzard warnings now, and it's just going to build up coming into this weekend. But that's how these type winters do. When they're going back and compared this type weather to the 1800s, pay attention to it, okay? We're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.